my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
Welcome to Vin and Mike, episode 91.
I can't take you seriously.
What is up?
Halloween edition, Vin and Mike.
Halloween, everyone.
What's up? I know people listen to Spotify and Apple, but if you're looking at the screen right now, I can't take this guy seriously. I can't.
All right, hold on. Let me get my glasses back on. So I told Mike I had a surprise for him when the show first started. He had no idea.
When did you get that mask? Like 40 years ago?
Oh, yeah. That mask is very old. Very old.
I love it.
My mother said I didn't know what I wanted to be for Halloween. So she got me an old, man's mask and a flannel shirt and told me that's what you are for Halloween. Okay. So she's kept the mask her whole life because she puts it on to scare people now.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm doing good.
Good. KKFI, Kansas City. Rough week, but hello, Kansas City.
Hello, KC.
And then VinandMikePodcast.com. Go on there. Go to the store. Buy something. Christmas is coming. Thanksgiving's coming. Hanukkah's coming. Kwanzaa's coming. What other religious holiday we got? Anything?
I think you checked them all off.
We got them all. Buy gifts. Happy New Year. Buy somebody a Vin and Mike t-shirt as a New Year present because every dollar we earn gets donated to a charity. And we're very happy to do that every month. So it's been a really cool thing for us to do. And also, some of our old shows are on there. The YouTubes are on there. You know, like you said, the Spotify, the Apple, all that. And then for all our great listeners, you can go on there and do a little 5-star rating for us. You know, that always helps out as well. So we appreciate that. All right, Mike. It was a very, very busy Sunday in New York. You were there in the pouring rain.
Yeah.
I got soaked from your head down to your toes and just miserable weather and probably one of the most miserable games that you can watch, probably until the end, of course. You know, it got exciting at the end, but all the punts, all the lack of offense, all the failures on third down. I'll let you talk to the whole game, and then we'll talk about the future for both teams as well. But give me,
I have to laugh because I was telling Matt that I felt I was at a high school football game. And I think high school could play better than that.
That was like an old school XFL game.
But you just think about where the Jets were. You beat the Eagles 2 weeks before. The only team that's beaten the Eagles.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Might be the only team that beats them all year.
You have the bye week to recuperate, work on your plays. You're playing a giant team that has not been good, although they did win the week before against the Commanders, but things have not really been there for them. And you look at the Jets' schedule at the beginning of the year, as we talked about, Vinny, to be 3-3 with Zach Wilson, we would have been happy with that with Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yep.
So you go in and thinking that as a Jets fan and just anyone who's observing the game, you have to win this. And you have to really win it outright. This is a game, and then you're playing the Chargers. Like, you got to just take care of business. And it was so frustrating to watch. I mean, they didn't convert a third down till the last part of the game. Just poor play calling. Zach Wilson was just not he was just not in the game, and they weren't utilizing this core that they have. Where was Garrett Wilson? Maybe a catch. Breece Hall wasn't. Last game he was averaging so many yards. He wasn't utilized correctly. It was very frustrating watching this, and it was a game of punts. The worst part about it, Vinny, was that when Tyrod got hurt and they put in their third string quarterback DeVito, that they were running the same play over and over. They didn't have confidence in this third string quarterback, and the Jets couldn't even capitalize. You knew the Giants were running with Saquon up the middle, and they stopped it so many times. got to commend the Jets defense and especially their special teams because they put the Giants deep in their zone where they got good field position. But again, they couldn't capitalize on anything, right? And this is where the frustrations are with Zach Wilson. And I want to always support my quarterback. I've been pretty good about it. But the reason why it's overshadowed this game is because luckily the Giants made some poor decisions at the end of the game to take a field goal instead of going in for 4th and 1. And the Jets got the ball back, and Zach had 2 great passes. But his performance is overshadowed again, right? You can't continue playing like this and be contenders. So as I said on our Instagram, and I'll say it on this show, a win's a win. I'll take it. I'm very happy to be 4-3. But walking out of that stadium, I wasn't confident. I didn't even feel good about that win. I just felt that we were lucky and that the Jets should have played much better. So they have a huge Monday night game coming against the Chargers. We'll see how they play. But it's just amazing. That's the NFL for you. You had a Kansas City team that lost against the Broncos, right? Yeah. It's any given Sunday, right? The Jets beat the Eagles. And then they barely win against the Giants. Yeah. That's the NFL right there.
Yeah, I still look at the NFL and all these upsets, the majority of them happen when these teams, go on the road, right? And, you mentioned Kansas City, getting beat. But I think that's just the MO for the NFL. It's very close. The worst team, even to the best team, right? It's just there's a very thin line in the talent level, and I think a lot of it has to do with the recruiting process and how teams are just so much more well connected to guys coming out of college, free agency, the whole thing. There's just so much more information, so you're 1 or 2 players sometimes from flipping everything around and making yourself a contender. Especially at the quarterback position. Like the Jets with Aaron Rodgers right now could potentially be 7-0, right? The way things have turned out and the way you're seeing the way they've played with Zach Wilson and some of the games that they lost and all that. Or they could be, 6-1, right? Whatever. I mean, that's the difference in one player on the team. Of course, the most important player. But for me, who has the Red Zone Network and was very happy living in the New York area to have the Red Zone Network, because if I had to watch that Jets and Giants game for 3 hours, I would have been out of my skull. Like I just don't know what kind of football that was. I think it was 0 for 18 on 3rd downs in the first half. 15 punts in the first half, the second most punts in a game in the history of the NFL, especially in today's NFL, where it's made for you to pass the ball down the field, right? Every time a corner touches someone down the field, it's a penalty, right? It's either pass interference, illegal contact, holding. You see it in every single game, and these teams weren't doing anything. And like you said, the Giants did not attempt a pass from DeVito until overtime. He didn't even attempt a pass. I mean, that is ridiculous.
I said, zero confidence in him.
So, and the Jets just couldn't figure out a way to just kick field goals even, right? Just get the ball down the field, kick some field goals. You got Breece Hall back there. Again, I don't know where it gets missed in translation. Like, why isn't this guy in that kind of game not getting 20 to 25 carries, right? It was a rain game, it was a wet game. Dalvin Cook, even getting him involved a little bit more. I just don't understand the play calling sometimes that Hackett throws out there, especially he should know by this time that Zach Wilson is not going to throw the ball 30 yards downfield consistently and make plays. It's just not going to happen. And then on the flip side, I don't know. Brian Dable was given the ball. He gave the ball to Saquon Barkley. I think it was 36 carries. So, they were giving it to him 4th and 1, 28 seconds left.
How do you not give it to them?
I would just give it to them. Like if you don't make it, they're in the same situation, right?
I just want to say something. If they don't make it, you have a Jets team that haven't been doing shit all game.
It's the same situation. Yeah. Like if you miss the field goal or the field goal gets blocked, which ended up happening, you're in a worse situation. Yeah. At least you go for it there. They make it. Game's over, right? That's it. Game is over. There's no timeouts. First down, and that's it. You don't even give your team an opportunity to win the game there. That's the word. That's the phrase. Opportunity to win the game. A field goal does not give you an opportunity to win the game because it's still 6-point lead. A touchdown, an extra point, Jets win. You don't give your team the opportunity to win there. And you don't get the ball in your best player's hands. My brother made a really good point, and of course it's a totally different sport and everything, but Joe Torre always said, game on the line, no matter what, I'm giving the ball to Mariano Rivera, and whatever happens, happens, right? He's the best player on the field. He's the guy that closes out. To me, Barkley is the best player on the Giants. You get the ball in his hand, and whatever happens, happens, right? And then at that point, you make an adjustment afterwards. I thought that was a very rough call in that game. You knew where you were standing with your third-string quarterback essentially playing. You weren't giving him any opportunities to win the game, right? Sure. You're giving them opportunities to manage a tie. Essentially, they were managing a tie at one point, right? I mean, it's just like ridiculous the amount, where the game was going. But now things move forward, right? So I think that's what you got to look at for the Jets. Jets are 4-3, home game. Chargers coming into town. The following week, they fly out to Vegas. Playing a very lowly, non-scoring Raiders team. I would put the under in if you could right now on that game.
I'll see if I could do it. I did that 2 weeks ago.
It essentially might be 30, but it might still be worth taking the under.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I don't even know what it'll be, but it's going to be extremely low the way those teams play offense. But you have two games, in my opinion. Chargers are not a great road team. Jets play outstanding defense. Chargers defense is, so-so, especially on the road. I think this is a game really where the Jets have an opportunity, 5-3 out to Vegas. I mean, you essentially could be looking at 6-3, 5-4, the worst, I would say. 5-4 in the AFC, with the way things are going, it puts you in a pretty good position, especially, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers. And I'll throw the Ravens in there, even though they have a little bit, they're in first. Someone's got to win the division. But those 3 or 4 teams are going to play each other, knock each other off a little bit more. All 3 of them are, aren't wild card. You beat the Chargers, you're ahead of them in the wild card. Essentially, there's no one else, right? I mean, the AFC South is horrific, outside of Jacksonville, and then there you go. You really put yourself in a position to be playoff bound going into, I guess that would be week 11, 6-3, right? Or we're in week 9, yeah. So I'm just saying there's just a lot of opportunity here for this Jets team to really put themselves in an opportunity. And they got to just figure it out. You didn't trade Dalvin Cook today. You didn't trade Carl Larson today. They're guys that are part of the rotation still. You're going to have to get them in there and just have to continue, moving forward with all this stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Somebody's trying to sell us stuff in the chat. Who is this guy?
How they get in?
They're on the Twitch. They're on the Twitch.
Yeah.
Can I delete this? How do I get rid of this? What is this? What is this? I don't know what this is. All right. What is this? He's bothering us while we're doing a show. What is he even talking about? God, I can't stand these people. I don't know how big time shows. Now I know why they got producers and all this stuff. So they don't have to deal
So
with
much that goes into it.
Yeah. But back to the show. Giants 2-6 traded Leonard Williams yesterday. And today they didn't make any other trades. I don't know where they go. Daniel Jones, essentially will be back, it seems like, next week. Besides that, I don't know. I think they're in trouble. Good thing for them to go out to Vegas, because the Raiders, I'm telling you, I watched that team last night, as you know. I watched every stinking stupid game.
Because you're a true fan.
Well, I'm an idiot.
Or you like misery? I don't know.
But oh my God, Jimmy G, man, and Josh McDaniels.
He threw some awful interceptions.
Come on, guys. The offensive line. I don't know. Devontae Adams wide open.
Yeah.
Twice with no one around him.
You could tell he was so frustrated.
Well, he dropped one ball. I think that bothered him more than anything. I don't even think the missed throws or just losing bothered him as much as the drop. But essentially, besides Max Crosby, Josh Jacobs, and Devontae Adams, and a bunch of young guys on the defensive side of the ball, Marcus Peters is playing pretty good. Not, he had a pick 6 for a touchdown. Besides all that, they don't have anything. Garoppolo was ridiculous.
He was so off target, and I told you this morning. The only thing that I remember about that game was Max Crosby and his effort.
Yeah,
you can't expect the defense to be resilient because they're so tired.
I think at one point they were. I think they said they were on play 70 on defense.
Yeah. How does a defense take? You can't.
Yeah. I'm surprised they only let them score 26 points.
Wait, what was the over/under in that game?
It was 26-14. It probably was an under game, I would think, because the Lions, I would think you would expect them to score 30. I would say it was 42. That would be my guess. I'm guessing it went under.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, I would think every Raider game from now on is an under.
I'm going to bet the Raiders under every game.
And their favorite this week with the Giants coming in.
How bad is that?
That's how bad the Giants are. Do the Raiders owe it to Devontae to trade him? No, they don't owe it to him. Why do they owe him? They don't owe him nothing. They paid him millions of dollars. He's under contract. He went there. It's too bad his best friend got traded away. Shut up and go play football. We'll figure you out in the offseason. It's after 4:00 Eastern time.
You should go talk to James Harden.
Huh?
I said those two should talk, Devontae and James Harden.
James Harden's the worst. We'll get into that in a little bit, but he's the worst. You think the Raiders should trade? Do you think they owe him to be traded?
I don't think so.
No. I mean, should we trade him and get players? Listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce on your offense, and Christian McCaffrey as your running back. If Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play like that,
he was just so off target.
He has to play much better.
Hold on. Any feelings on the Jets not doing anything with the trade deadline? I wasn't too surprised. I wish earlier in the season, when we knew Aaron Rodgers was not going to be with us for a while, that we could have got a veteran quarterback, but that ship has sailed, and we just have to go what we're with right now.
You weren't going to trade for Josh Dobbs like the Vikings did. You're not going to do that. Is Trevor Siemian still in your practice squad?
Yeah, but we never hear about him.
Yeah. Why don't they just have him be the backup? He's just Tim Boyle's that much better.
If again, Zach Wilson's had 9 lives. You never seen someone who I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah.
And just think about it. He was picked second. So
Yeah. Sam Darnold too, right? Or third. Darnold was third.
it's so crazy.
I don't know. The Jets have just walked into minutia. You know, a lot of people thought the Jets were going to take Baker Mayfield there at third. They thought Sam Darnold was going 1 overall. And you know that you lost out on the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes because of Adam Gase.
Just think about that. Sam Darnold and Zach is just on the Jets. It's just crazy.
Poor Sammy's out in San Francisco now. I don't know if it's poor Sammy, but he's doing what he has to do.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
Let's get into the picks.
Want to do some picks?
Let's do it.
All right. Where you want to start? You want to start? You want me to start?
I would love to see. You know what? This may not be in your pick, but I'd love to see who you like in the Cowboys-Eagles game.
It's 3, right?
I have to look. I think I'll tell you what the spread is. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let's see what we got. I'll tell you right now. It is 3. Yes.
I'll take the Eagles at home.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, Vinny?
I think the Eagles at home. I think they could win by a touchdown. Essentially, if it was in Dallas, I would go the other way.
Okay. It's interesting because there are 3 teams that haven't lost at home this season. And Dallas, I think, and Philly are both of those teams. Games in Philly, they'll have the home fans. So I think that's a good pick for you.
So
you'll take the Eagle. You'll take the Eagles.
Yeah. So the Eagles and Cowboys are both undefeated at home right now.
Yes.
Let's see. And Miami is the other team. Miami's 4-0 at home.
Yeah.
Even though their game this week's a neutral field game in Germany. I don't know whose home game is that. Is it the Chiefs or is it theirs?
That's a good question.
I didn't even look. Let's see. Let's see here. That would be.
I don't think it matters really, does it?
You lose a home game. You actually lose a real home game. That's why it matters.
Okay, yeah, that does.
Yeah. Well, with the you know what? Probably not. With the 17-week schedule, they probably still give you 8 home games and 8 road games. You just don't get the 9th either way now.
Yeah.
They should do, because they have 17 weeks, they should do neutral field games for every team.
They should.
Put them in like Portland one week. Like go around the United States instead of going over to Europe. They should go to like these big cities that have like big college programs and no NFL, like Oklahoma. Imagine having an NFL game in Oklahoma.
No, I can't.
That'd be awesome.
People would go nuts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
a really good idea.
Hey, Roger Goodell, I know you listen to the show. I know you do. Listen,
you tell
them. The neutral field, every team should play on for their 17th game, whichever way you want to do it, Roger. And instead of going to Europe, let's do some U.S. Cities here, right?
Yeah.
Where else can we go? New Orleans has got a team. Where else? Memphis. There you go. Memphis.
A lot of the South.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Where else? Portland.
Portland. Cool. Yeah.
How about where?
Utah.
Where?
Utah.
Salt Lake City. Yeah.
Salt Lake City.
Go on. How about Boise, Idaho?
Boise.
I don't know. You really want to promote the NFL in Europe, but I think there's a lot of cities here in the U.S. that would love to have that. Like an old school, good. Mainly, it's got to be a field that's well taken care of too. We don't want one of these, 1934 fields that hasn't been used, and your guy, tears an ACL playing in Boise, Idaho.
Yeah.
Right? They could play on that blue, that was the blue surface there.
That'd be fun as hell.
Yeah, that's what we got. All right. I'm sorry. I totally
Oh, you went off on a good rant there. I
got
think.
very excited about neutral fields.
So with that said, I think that with the KC Dolphins game, the over/under is 51.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think that it's going to be back and forth. You have two elite offenses. I'm going over 51 in that game.
You don't feel any jet lag hitting them.
No, I think they're just going to have fun. I think KC
and Mahomes is done with his flu.
I think he's done with his flu. They're going to fly in Taylor Swift.
Whoa!
Good. The Dolphins are.
I wonder if she has a Germany concert.
Should be a fun game.
All right, I like that. We already said Raiders Giants under. That's easy. I'll give you one I really like, and I know you're not going to be happy when I tell you this, but that's okay. I like the Browns -8 at home against the Cardinals. Cardinals are going to probably start a rookie quarterback because I don't think they're going to have Kyler Murray going.
Yeah.
Cleveland plays phenomenal defense at home. Doesn't matter if Watson or P.J. Walker start. It's not even going to matter. I think the Browns are going to demolish them. I think you can even, if people want to, it's up to them. You can do even an alternative. But -8 to me is it's a beautiful thing. I see double-digit win for the Browns in that one.
All right. I love the Saints -7.5 against the lowly Bears. The Saints rushing game is starting to get into gear with Kamara and Taysom Hill. Who's that's just on the goal line. They're just so good. So I think the Saints win by 14 here. I
like the way their offense is running. Despite of Derek Carr's terrible play.
So I'll take a -7.5.
But you're right. Kamara is such a huge part of their team, and Hill has been really good. I like it. And Saints home, they have a good defense. I like that. That's a pretty good one. All right, I'm going to give you one that I like a lot. Sunday night in Cincinnati. Right now, I think the line might have even moved up a little bit.
-2.5 right now, Vin.
2.5?
Yeah.
We'll probably go to 3. I'm taking Bengals. -2.5. They are flying high. They have Buffalo's number. They beat the piss out of them in the playoffs last year. Joe Burrow is starting to feel good. I think this is a really good game for Burrow and the Bengals to win. I like them to win by 7. Give me the Bengals -2.5, and I would take them -3 as well once the line moves that way.
The Giants Raiders, I won't touch with a 10-foot pole, the point spread, but what I will touch is the under, as we said with the Raiders. The over/under is 37.5 right now, and I think this is a 2013 game, maybe even less. So I am taking the under. I'm going to lock it in right now. As a matter of fact, I think that this is a very low-scoring game, and that's why I'm going.
That's all I got. I don't got any other best bets. If you want to talk any other games, I'll give you my feelings on them.
I'm curious. I want to hear about. You could tell me. I'm not going to get upset.
Yeah.
That's Jets Chargers. The Jets are underdogs at home, +3. We have the Jets who've won 3 straight games. Their defense has been great, but it's going to be interesting. What are your thoughts with this Chargers team?
Honestly, if I'm betting that game in the Jets' favor, I'm taking the money line. All right, I'm not going to take the +3 because I think the Jets either win that game or they get slaughtered. Right? I don't think the Chargers beat the Jets by 3 points. If the Chargers are going to come out to New Jersey and on a Monday night beat the Jets, they're going to beat them like 31-14. Right? That's my feelings. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Jets win this game somewhere like 21-17, something like that. Like I said, I don't like the way the Chargers play on the road. I don't like the way their defense plays on the road. We'll see how the weather is on that Monday night. That can play into a Los Angeles-based team, that's used to a little warmer weather and all that stuff. How the Meadowlands is, no matter what, it's always windy. So I would take the money line if I was going to bet that game. I'm staying away from it because, just the way I'm feeling, that it could go either way. But gun to my head, I'm taking Jets money line.
Okay. All right, that's what I got, man.
Yeah. Well, what about how about Raiders?
Yeah, Raiders.
Minus 2.5. What do you like?
It's a tough one. I think if I had to guess, the Giants were so embarrassed last week that they're not going to go in and get blown out by the Raiders. With that said, it's very. I think it's a hard place to play there in Vegas. But what I saw last game with Jimmy G and not even able to get a target, I don't know. I think it stays very close, but I'll have to go with the Raiders on this. They'll win by like 3.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take your win.
I like this. Listen, I want to see the Raiders win for you, but I don't know. It's a coin flip. Both teams are
17-14. Daniel Carlson.
I think it will be. I think it's going to be a one-score game. I feel it maybe 20-13 Raiders.
All right, Mike. We didn't do this last week, but we're going to do it this week. Who are your Super Bowl teams?
Yeah, so this has changed because we've seen some teams really falter a little bit. The AFC right now, it's hard. NFC, I have to go with the Eagles right now, Vinny.
Yeah.
I do. I think San Fran's having some issues over there. They've lost 3 straight, injury prone, and I just don't like the way they've been playing. So my 1-2 was Eagles, San Fran, and there wasn't at one time I think it was more San Fran, but now I have to lean towards Eagles. In the AFC, a team that I've not mentioned, but I like their trajectory, is the Bengals. I think they're going to be really hard to beat. I love the way they're playing. Joe Burrow, I think at one point last game, he completed like 17 or 18 in a row. They have a really strong offense. No one's really talking about them for Super Bowl. A lot of people are talking about, they've talked about the Bills and the Dolphins and the Ravens, but don't count those Bengals out. They're getting hot at the right time, I think.
Do you think the Lions will play a home playoff game this year?
Be nice to see that. Well, the last time was 91? 93.
Yeah, they said it last night during the game. I think the Lions are flying under the radar here at 6-2, which is weird, right? Like you're 6-2, you should be like on everyone's radar.
I think the Lions are good, but I think Goff, he's far from perfect, and I think it was shown last night that he's vulnerable. Yeah. I'm impressed, but I'm not overly impressed, right?
It's always the big issue, right? Like, is Goff good enough?
Like I feel like he's good, but he's not great, and how he's going to compete with those other other.
Well, you said it right. Like Eagles, Jalen Hurts, Bengals, Joe Burrow. We always talk about the Chiefs and Mahomes. We'll see if Dak Prescott can step up and be. I think that's the big thing, right? Like these teams that are like borderline teams now, which are, and especially in the NFC, San Fran, Detroit, Dallas, all are about the quarterback play. Like they have to compete at the same level that Jalen Hurts competes at, right?
Right.
That's the only way you're going to go right now into Philly and win a playoff game. And that's another big thing when it comes to this whole playoff run is you're going to have to win a road game if you're going to want to beat Philadelphia right now. And you're probably going to have to win a road game if you're going to want to be the winner of this Miami Chiefs game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be that Miami Chiefs game is huge for who could be the number one overall seed. I don't want to go into Kansas City or Miami and play those teams, in January, right?
No.
They're just built. We know what the Chiefs do. They go to the AFC Championship game every year. Mahomes has never played a road game in his entire NFL
That's
playoff
amazing.
career. The only time is neutral fields, which were Super Bowls, and the one lost Super Bowl was actually in Tampa, where Tampa was the team they were playing. So the guy essentially is just like, you gotta figure out some way to get him outside of that Kansas City January football, because they just figure out a way to win those games in advance. But I think the big thing is going to be who can overtake. I like your Bengals pick. I think that's like a really.
I might get in on that futures bet, to be honest with you.
I really like it. I'll tell you the team that I think people aren't paying attention to again is the Ravens. I think Baltimore is a lot better than people realize they are at this point. I think Lamar is playing a lot better. Their defense is doing all the things, but we'll see when those tough AFC North divisional games come in. But I'm with you, Eagles, and I'm still going to lean the winner of Chiefs Dolphins right now. I'm going to just say Chiefs win, so I'm going to go Eagles Chiefs rematch right now. I think I had Niners Chiefs last time we talked about it, but
that'll be fun to watch nice and early in the morning.
It's great because that's
Get up.
That's when I'm heading back from the gym, right? I get back in the house, make my little protein stuff and all that, and I sit down. And normally at 9:00, I put on Rich Eisen and the Gang and start listening to the pregame. But at 9:30 now, we'll have that Dolphins Chiefs game, which is essentially a Sunday night game, right? Like those are like a huge primetime kind of game. So that'll be fun. I wonder what the thought process was when they put that together, where they thought the teams would be record wise.
Yeah, this is going to be I'm excited about this.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We're right in the middle of the season now. This is it. So,
yeah.
Anything else you'd like to talk about? Would you like to talk about James Harden real quick? No?
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say. I'll tell you what I'll say real quick. I don't like a guy that dictates what all these teams have to do and makes a problem for essentially multiple places he's been, from Houston to Brooklyn to Philadelphia. It's just been nonstop with this guy. Now he's going to go play with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook again. My only problem is, you traded away all those guys that do all the dirty work, right? The Marcus Morrises, all those guys are now going to Philadelphia. So, who's going to grab the important rebounds? Who's going to, is it going to be Zubac? Is that the guy you're going to, count on to make a big defensive play, or So those are some of the things that always bother me about those super teams, that you don't have a lot of role players around them. And the guy always disappears in the playoffs. He always disappears. So I don't know. I guess
we've talked about this, Vinny, real quickly.
The man, all that stuff.
We talked about legacy, right?
Yeah.
When someone's constantly asking for a trade and they can't stick on one team, this is what's happening with him, and it just doesn't look good, right?
Yeah.
That's all I could say.
Yeah, I know. And I'm going to say
I understand your career if you're traded maybe once, twice max, but this is crazy. You have to, let's see, Houston, Brooklyn, Philly, Clippers. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Was he traded away from OKC, or was he a free agent? I don't even remember.
I can't even remember, because seems like every other year he's traded or wants out.
I mean, the guy is a Hall of Fame talent that's on, what, 4 teams in 4 years?
Yeah.
4 years? I mean, it's just nuts.
I
Just
know.
craziness. All right. One other thing I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead.
When the Yankees were looking in free agency last year, or when we thought they were looking in free agency, I said Corey Seager was the shortstop that would fit in very nicely with them because he was a left-handed bat in Yankee Stadium. Volpe still needed some time, to get better. Maybe, if Seager's going to take over, he could trade Volpe, down the road, add some pitching and all that stuff. And the Yankees did not pull the trigger. And here's a guy in the middle of the World Series that's hit more clutch home runs than anything Anthony Volpe did all season, and is in the World Series, which is one more World Series than Aaron Judge has been in and all these other guys. So I don't want to hear anything about the Yankees have done this and done that, and they've done nothing. And Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman better realize, they should tune into the show more often because they would have a much better team.
We had a question that came in for you to end the show. What is your favorite Halloween candy?
I like a nice Snickers. I want to go out. I want my bag, and I want the Snickers. I don't want the Reese's. I don't want the Milky Way, even though I take them, but I want a Snickers. And they make them in all different sizes now, right? You can give me the little one. They get the megas. You can even tell me come back later with your cooler because I have the Snickers ice cream bars for you.
You know what I don't see a lot of anymore, and I used to love it, was Nestle's Crunch. I used to love that.
Maybe
Maybe
Nestle sold the thing to Canada or something, right?
I don't know. I don't see it anymore.
Didn't they sell their company to Canada or something?
I don't know.
I like the Snickers. What else?
You know what's so good? The Snickers ice cream. Oh my God.
Yeah, Snickers.
I used to go to Quick Check when I was younger and just get one.
Did you ever get the Blizzards?
Yeah, of course. At Dairy Queen.
Oh, that's right. I like the Sour Patch Kids too.
I love those too.
Yeah, I've been eating 5 of those a night.
Those are so good.
Yeah,
and addicting.
Yes, that's why I have 5 a night with my Reese's ice cream. That's my dessert.
You have a Dairy Queen by you?
Oh yeah, in Montail.
Nice.
That's the original one. All they do is the ice cream, the Blizzards.
The Blizzards are. I used to get it with Oreo and Reese's. Oh my God.
Yeah. If anyone is in the Bergen County area of Montvale, New Jersey, I suggest if you haven't, go to the Dairy Queen there. 5 of the big ones, not the regular little ones. I do not eat 5 big of the Sour Patch Kids. I eat the little ones. They're little. They're this big.
They're good. They're so good.
Did you think the Vikings at 4-4 getting Josh Dobbs was a good move for them?
Time will tell.
Yeah,
I don't have. They had to do something, obviously, but I don't know if he's going to be.
What about Kyler Murray? Is he going to actually start for Arizona in 2 weeks, or are they going to say, you're not ready and make him sit for the whole
I'll have to sign more papers. Remember that?
Oh, that was crazy.
I'll have to sign an agreement.
He had to sign a practice. He had to. What was it? He had to practice. He had to read the playbook and do this. Oh
yeah, that was such BS.
I wonder what actually really happened there.
I don't know. I just remember
really felt like he was not involved in the whole thing.
Yeah.
I wonder what Cliff Kingsbury is doing. He, probably just hanging out, collecting $10 million a year, getting fired.
Yeah. By the way, just what you're talking about with the game, I am excited about this Bengals-Bills game because I love Cincinnati to win that one.
How many times are the NBC cameras going to show DeMar Hamlin?
Less than Taylor Swift.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that was the game where he got hurt last year. So that's all they're gonna talk about it.
Those,
You know,
I don't think they're going to overdo it.
they'll overdo it.
They
I
think
think it's good for people to understand the
I'll never forget. I
mortality of it.
never forget when I was
How
watching that
important
game.
first aid, CPR, and all that stuff is, and how important those medical staffs are on these teams. We always talk about getting desensitized to a lot of stuff. That's one of the things I think we still are. Like, guys get hurt and we're like, oh, it's torn it. It's only a torn meniscus, so he'll be back in 6 weeks. Man, this guy just tore something inside his body. He's got to, they got to go open his leg up and fix it. It's just like, wow.
I'll tell you this right now, Aaron Rodgers, the Jets will get into that wild card, and here comes Aaron Rodgers
playing Kirk Cousins. Did Kirk Cousins call Aaron Rodgers and go, who's your surgeon? And
right.
Can you have the same surgery?
I know.
And is there any mushrooms attached to it and a secret hideaway in the middle of nowhere for me?
Those magic mushrooms.
By the way, Kirk Cousins, the guy is a real quality guy. I don't know if you knew that he went for the MRI yesterday. And the Vikings had their kids Halloween gathering at in Minnesota, and he still attended and signed balls for the kids and everything.
He's a team player. You saw that even when he left the game, he was still cheering on. That's
a good dude right there. This guy just had a major injury. No one would have said boo if he wasn't at the event. So it's a good dude there. I don't know where he ends up next year. I'm pretty sure his Vikings career is over now. He'll end up somewhere else next year.
Jets backup.
Hey, listen, if you need a quarterback, and as much as I don't think the guy's going to ever win you a Super Bowl, but he's better than a lot of guys out there. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So, anything else? You want my feelings on the Raiders for the rest of the year?
It's probably very depressing.
I think they figure out a way to win enough games that we get a middle of the road pick again.
Right, which you don't want.
I want to.
Which games do you think they're going to win? You feel they're going to beat the Giants.
They're going to win 7 games.
Okay.
And I want them to win 1 or 2 more.
All right.
I want 4 or 5 wins.
What was their over/under going into the season?
Was it 6.5?
I think it was 5. I think it was 5.5. 5.5,
6.5. I think it was 5.5 or 6.5, something like that.
Yeah. I think the Jets were 9.5.
Were they that high?
I think they were high. Maybe 9. Maybe 9. Ooh. They were high.
I don't think the Eagles were high enough. I think we talked about that. I don't think the Chiefs were high enough. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Be interesting. We should write those down from that, so we keep track.
It'll be interesting. We could go back and look
at them just to see where teams are.
Yeah, right now.
Well, you think the Dolphins were 9, weren't they?
I think all the AFC East, aside from the Patriots, are right around the same. The Patriots were a little bit lower. Patriots may have been at 7.
How about Seattle's in first place? We didn't even talk about them.
Surprising. But you know what? Pete Carroll's a great coach.
Keeps getting.
I've never seen someone who's more enthusiastic as a coach and just loves it than him.
He's got a lot of energy at 74 years old.
Everyone should have that much energy at 74.
Just pumped.
I love it.
All right, Mike. Let's go Raiders.
Let's go Jets.
Big games.
Yeah.
I got the Giants and Jets back-to-back weeks. If I could beat them both, I can rub it in all your faces here in New York.
I know. All right, first get past the Giants, then we'll talk.
I think you're nervous for you to go out to Vegas. It's like that kind of game where you'll beat the Chargers and then go out to Vegas and figure out a way to lose.
Don't even say that.
You're already feeling it. You're getting itchy. You're getting the hives.
They're nervous.
You're getting the hives.
All right, go trick or treat. All right.
Yeah. Everyone, have a great Halloween. For those out there that are listening, for those that see us or listen to us later on Spotify and Apple, hopefully you had a good Halloween. If you do celebrate it, there's some people that don't celebrate it. Some miserable people that don't give the kids candy. You know how those people are. Do you get kids knocking on your door?
They have a parade actually because we're in a community here.
Oh, nice.
So we set up like booths outside with candy.
Little dinner booth.
Little dinner booth with candy. And Stephanie made Rice Krispie treats for everybody. Yeah, it was nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Make sure you don't eat them all. I know how you are.
You know me with my appetite. I don't look it, but man, I could. You ever see someone eat a steak sandwich like me?
All of a sudden, all 170 pounds of you are just pounding 14,000 calories. It's like,
good thing I walk. Oh man, I'd be like 400 pounds.
Exercise is good. All right, Mike, have a great night. Enjoy.
Go get those Sour Patch Kids.
I will. Some Snickers.
Get those Snickers. All right, good night, everybody.